It's crazy to think, after all these years, had I not written down Falcon in that journal and mapped out the bigger vision, none of this would be possible. Wouldn't be building a fund up to 100 million. It still blows my mind. Sometimes I need to pinch myself and think, just that thought and intention that you just write down on a bit of paper with a big why, almost an unstoppable force that you'll just do whatever it takes to get to that goal. How's it going? Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Well, lots of sacrifices, lots of things that we're doing behind the scenes, the things that we have to operate on.
So the people that think they can get away with it, I've met so many of these people on IG that have authentically made 100 grand from high risk, and they go, Mark, now I want to learn. I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't hear of them. They lose the money and go into debt.
The bigger picture, the day-to-day operation of all of that, you've got to trade in between. There's multiple different hats that personally I have to put on, but also be that source of energy for people. Because look, sometimes people are going through some stuff and they don't know how to navigate that. So to be that pillar of strength for them, they know they can lean on us and we actually care about them succeeding. That for me is the bigger thing. And I've seen it with people because I see them come. Every single meetup they come, they're a different person, they're more confident, they're more tenacious, and they've really got it in them, and I can see they're listening to the advice. That is probably one of the biggest blessings. It's not just about trading, it's so much more than that.
It's where the lack of deserve is the fact that you think about, oh, do I deserve it so much? It's because when someone who should never betray your trust does, that's what that does to people. I think part of making peace for it is accepting it's always there. You know, because like your instinct would be, I need to get rid of it, which is a normal response for anyone. You're in great shape. You've built a business. You take care of your family, right? And that can still affect us because the old you can still creep back in. Like if you have to trade every single penny, like imagine, like I can speak from experience because of my dad's situation, right? So when I'm doing the property fund, I'm not saying, oh, 10% a year should be really exciting for you. I'm trying to hedge against that. What if you did have 5 mil or something happened to you, your wife, your kids, they're now depending on you, and you're like, oh, we got nothing now because he needed to trade and now he can't. Yes, double trouble. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Like 5 years, like this is the team, this is the big man.
5 years,
yeah.
Man. Imagine 5 years
Yeah.
of pent-up energy,
Yeah.
all coming out during one meetup, and just at one time meeting everyone at the same time. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. Yes. Alfie, how are you, man? You good? Yeah, good to see you, bro.
Something I want to mention to you all as well. So when I first started trading, I went to a 2-day course, for those of you that don't know. And in the manual, I'd wrote down a capital goal. It's the reason why we're getting you to do this today. And when I wrote down a capital goal, I completely forgot about it. It was just like sign your name, date, same type of deal. I wrote the capital goal was £15,000 a month. But I wrote 2015, and I think deep down, I probably wrote that goal because it's like, right, it's like 7 years away. That gives me ample amount of time. The funny thing is, I forgot about it, and then when I went back through it, like so many years later, I was like, no, I must have just, there's no way. Like £15,000 a month on the money, I've been making that, and it was around the same sort of time. Whether it was that or not, like I don't know how the stars aligned to that number or that date, but it was just fascinating how it's not like you write it down and then the rest is history. You have to put in the work, you have to do it, but understand the power of intention of when you put these things out there and then you start mapping it out, you start putting it into like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, you can achieve some incredible things.
What are we saying?
No.
No, go on.
No sound bites for me.
No, go on.
I got nothing to say, actually.
No, yes, you do.
I'm actually fixing my pocket square at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
How does it feel to meet the team?
That's what I mean. There you go.
It's difficult to overstate. That's gonna come off as sarcastic, isn't it? One sec, man. Abdullah fucked me up. Look at this. He doesn't even have his shit together.
Zero accountability in this team, bro.
You're just going to begin by obviously welcoming and saying hello.
Yeah.
And whilst they're doing the exercise, you want these two to go around with mics and just...
We've got everybody upstairs, they're going to be coming down in a minute. We have a whole day planned, and it's going to be one of those days that people use this point as the middle of the year, what they're going to do for the next 6 months. They're going to learn so many important things.
I think there's a level of, you have to actually take this journey seriously and not be casual about it. There's a level of waiting for the right time, waiting for things to actually happen, or say, you know what, I'm going to take it a bit more seriously when this time comes, or maybe I am taking seriously and not as much. The problem is with trading, it's a game of fine margins. And if you're not actually all in, you'll end up repeating the same year over and over and over.
Oh, you're very good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, big man.
Oh, that was a good
See
line.
that? They're good. How are you, man? How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Good?
Great.
Team, looking sharp. Navy, that's what I like. How you doing? Yeah, very nice to meet you, man.
So, Mark, over the years, this is your like 15th event or conference. How has it evolved for you? And every single time, are you as nervous or are you more excited? Like, how has the feeling changed?
I'm more excited because these people are like family. Because when you meet people a lot and you see the same faces over and over again, it doesn't become like a revolving door of some people are committed, some people are not. Like, we have a real community, that camaraderie, like that's there. So no, there's no nerves. There is just excitement. I just want to see these people win at the highest level, and I just want a day like this to be one of those days where they use that momentum to say, look, absolutely not. I'm not settling for this mediocre average life. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to listen to what they've got to say, and I'm going to value the resources and the infrastructure that I've got right in front of me. That to me is more important. If I can transfer that across to these people, they're going to hit the highest of heights.
The man himself, Big Tommy Forbes.
It's your first conference as well, no? We've been to meetups, but never a conference where we've got a whole day strategy, psychology, funding. Imagine as a newer student coming into this. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
What's the one thing you're most excited for about today?
Just to see Mark and the coaches on that level.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difference. You'll know it yourself. They have that element to them where they can go from being almost like big brother style to straight into business style. So, you know, even for me, and I know you're the same as well, trading is just one part of what we're here to do, you know.
Yeah.
Falcon's a bigger thing, as a bigger structure to a degree. So seeing them in that light, seeing them operate at that level, it's good for us as young men to see, you know what I mean? Trading just one part of the peak, but when you can get up on stage in front of 150 people and speak about something, how many profitable traders could get on there? Like, just show them that the chairs behind us if you can.
We wanted to just give you this overview to understand more of the intricacies as to what we're doing. So we talk a lot about the fund and we talk about how much of value it is, but we thought, right, let's actually put this out so you can see visually in the clearest way that we can explain it to you, how much more benefit that you're going to get. So imagine yourself at quarterly masterminds, imagine yourself at that level of capital that, look, if the worst did happen, you lost your account, we can, you know, vet you personally, see what's gone wrong. If you've been completely reckless, then we're going to talk to you differently. But if it's just you've breached the drawdown limit, we're not going to make you start at zero again. And then you just have to ask yourself, in light of all of this, how much is it worth to you to have that? Because I can assure you this, even with the best prop firms out there in the world, the way they're set up, they just cannot be bespoke. So our uniqueness on how we set things up to be like, right, how do we compete in our own way that we think is going to change people's lives? It's this. Because I wish I had this. Because then I'd have so much confidence going, all I have to do is build trust with these people, you know, do what I need to do, level up, work on the mind, and then I've got the capital and I'm going to be looked after forever. I'm always going to be able to tap into investors if I need more capital. I've got everything I possibly need. So just don't take it for granted, because I saw people in 2019 take a lot of things for granted, and had they just stuck around, they'd probably be trading 500K plus more right now.
All these firms fell for different reasons. Some of them, obviously, MFF was regulation or a form of regulation. TFT is probably the biggest fun one, I would say, because before they fell, they were probably at the height of everything, right? I would say it was 2 months before they fell. They seemed unbeatable. They would be fine. They do zero payout denials at the time, at least. You can get 600K and everything seemed great. You get invited to yacht clubs, or yacht parties rather, and all the fun stuff, right? And then suddenly in a 2-month period, the entire chain of prop firms, because they were responsible for an umbrella of them, collapsed. Now what's interesting with them is they discovered you couldn't really create a certain book, right? When you have a few 100,000, I think they had at the time, someone had said 220,000 traders. Good luck combining that book and seeing where to mitigate risk, right? You have 220,000 people, and say of the 220,000 people, how many of them trade $0? How many of them are going long? How many of them are going short at the same time? What's your stop loss? What's whatever? So to say, hey, we're gonna get a net output of profitability for the firm, you're gonna be unable to copy that, right? And that's the biggest problem, which as Mark was talking about with the in-house fund, is we're able to trust the person because the process is slow. There is no chance that you would get to 500K and we don't know who you are. Versus FTMO, as much as they pay out everything, you can buy assessments, get 400K, get funded, unfunded the week after, and no one cares, right? You can be in and out of the system and just kind of continue going. So you lose that personability. You lose the parts that kind of come with actually scaling up. And I think the fundamental difference with this, because I would still use them, I still use them, as you know, they're great extra money, but they don't actually allow you to grow as a person. And if you trade them as a casino and you become a casino, you'll probably end up, you know, the outpoint of one, right?
to give access to a fund like this to people, average day-to-day people that can learn a skill set and then scale through property fund. Like, you'd have to fail for years to get to that stage, to build that kind of a network. It almost feels too good to be true, because it's like, oh, I just stumbled across Falcon and it just so happens to be they've got everything. People are lucky that they did. I came across Falcon first time. I didn't try anything else. But you can't help everybody. You can only help those who want to be helped. So I want to drill it into people's head today that stop fucking around. You found something here that works. Put your all into it. If you don't want to and you want to be a loser, that's up to you. That every single time, I didn't sit there and sob about it. I'm also thought, right, this is another one added in where one day I'll be telling the story literally like I am right now. Ironically, but it happens very quick, extremely quick. In the moment, it feels like, man, I've got so much time to become profitable, so much time to make this money. But it happens very quick. When you start making the money, it compiles very, very quickly as well. And a lot of people are not ready for that. You'll dream of making money. You'll think, oh, when that day I make 10K in a trade is great, but it's very difficult to emotionally manage and think. That's why we shove rewired down people's throats. They don't understand it now because they've not done it yet. I can only understand. What do you do? Again, you're a chiropractor, right? And other things. Sports therapist, right? There are things that guarantee that with your experience, you know the value of as a side effect of doing it how long?
People think discretion is guesswork. It's not. And there is no such thing as a discretionary system. Discretion is in the last part. Because discretion, if you just had a full discretionary system, there would be nothing, there would be no structure to it. So there's no such thing as like you versus you. It's not like us versus the banks, and it's not mechanical versus discretion. But that's what the industry tried to sell you. There is a mechanical thought process to all of it. There's a very small percentage of, let's say I'm not taking a limit order, I might need to wait for the 1 hour close for a certain type of entry. Now the type of 1 hour closure might not be as good as another one. There is going to be different factors of like, oh, let's say it's a rejection of a high test. If it's a high test or a doji, what am I going to go with? I'm going to go with a high test because a doji is indecisive. That to someone, they'd be like, oh, it's discretion. No, it's common sense, and you can figure it out in a very short period of time. What's good, what's bad, and then you will learn where you apply your discretion. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the thing.
And then why does the algos not stay performing forever? Because then it would crack the market, wouldn't it? The world ends if there is an absolute. So there is no such thing as 100% mechanical then. There is 100% mechanical for a short period of time until it's not. So it's pros and cons to everything. You could say, do you know what? I do want to trade 100% mechanical, and I'm also comfortable going through 3 months of drawdown. If you say to me, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, that exists, but don't expect it to give you consistently performing returns month on month, year on year. Absolute rubbish. Honestly, what an incredible day. We've got traders that have flown in from different parts of the world, all different strategies. It's just been one of those days that are so memorable. Like, people are so much clearer now on what they need to do to bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be over the next 6 months. So we're going into literally wrap things up right now, but it's been amazing.
Because from when we was out having coffee, etc., the amount of conversations I had with, which I would have thought that you'd already know. I'm only this far away from living the, not dream life, but the life that I want to live. I think sometimes you just need a reminder of it, because we get lost in the source. We get lost in everything else, not realizing if you're 12% away from making 16K per month, you don't have a problem. You have an opportunity. But if you come from the perspective of like, I'm frustrated because I'm not where I am, I'm a little bit upset that I'm not here, all you have is an opportunity to get it.
He wanted to surround himself with people that we grew up with who are going nowhere, right? And so I've had to like neglect the friendship and kind of pull away from that so I can protect my energy.
You're seeing the friction as an issue, but it's not an issue. And the reason why I said who's the culprit is that there must be one person, sometimes two, that is causing most of it. But you kind of gave the answer to yourself, because you just said that it's like these old relationships, like you're dwelling on what used to be, and that's more familiar to you. So it's almost your expectation on it is the problem. They're not the problem, they're just being themselves. And you have to let go of this idea of like, they're 100% all gonna think like you. They don't need to be saved. It's not your responsibility. And you just gotta be the best that you can be. But energetically, you can still get on with these people and be really successful, but spend no time trying to convince them to think anywhere else.
It's more general question actually, because I know 5 years ago you had another conference. The difference you see from the people, from the perspective from you, from as a Falcon, as the fund, everything, like how you see the next conference will be like, I guess, in a few years from now.
That's a good question. Commitment levels. Even though we give you advice on that, right, there are some people that, you know, they learn the hardest possible way you can imagine. if I was to ratio it, the commitment levels are just so much higher. The all-in mentality is just more there. Before, I thought people were committed, but they just weren't. I've got to know so many of you on much a deeper level. I think what is hard to compare because the project has evolved so much, especially with the fund. The fund didn't exist. So with the fund, we've got to, by default, know people on more of a deeper level. So I feel like the connection between us and the community, speaking from the Falcon and the Rewired perspective, we just know you all more. And I think that is a consequence of just the effort that we as coaches have done more intentionally. Is that right? Because it's not easy to change someone's life, it's hard. You can't just give them a strategy and think they'll be fine, they've got the strategy, we've given them the content, they'll be okay. No, there's certain things they have to navigate through, there's certain things they might send us a voice note on that's got nothing to do with trading whatsoever. I mean, Thanos, we've spoken loads of times about different things, nothing to do with trading and many others, but that's the part. Like, I've really realized from that last conference till now how much goes involved in wanting to help someone change their life. And I genuinely want you to take away from this day, this conference, and really understand the reason why there is so much effort for the fund and everything that we've got. Kind of putting my own story into it, because I didn't have that father figure, if you like, to just be like, hey, do this. It kind of just got almost like your childhood robbed from you, if you like. Because I didn't have that, I think I've always had that extra care to want to give people that as much as I can, because I didn't have it. It's almost like a void that you don't have, so you try to fill it. And then I saw people not succeeding, thinking, well, imagine if we created this environment or infrastructure that even strategy neutral when it comes to Rewired with the fund as well, that no matter what, there's no reason why you can't succeed. Like, if you have a profitable strategy, you've got Rewired, you've got the fund, you can win. If you're in Falcon, you've got the strategy, you've got Rewired, you've got the fund, you can win. There's no reason why you can't win but yourself. And I think that is a sense of power that I wish I had that. So this is the mission. This is why we're going to keep doing what we're doing, because we know what it's like to also be in your shoes. Don't be under any illusion that we don't go through the same stress, same like doubt. We've just managed it, and now we've got the experience of it, and then we get the knowledge transfer that to you guys.
What an event. I cannot believe how quickly time has gone. I barely keep my voice. But speaking to the different caliber of traders, people that are new, not where what they want to be now, they've got the answer. They've got the key details that is going to take them from where they are to where they want to be. They now have the solution to bridge the gap. You've then got traders that are trading hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of capital. They now have a better idea on how they're going to bridge the gap from where they are to trading 7 figures. There's people that are even closer than that. What is incredible on days like this is that you get that blend of, there are people here that trade different strategies, there are actually lots of different strategies here, which is really cool from the Rewired community. But it's amazing to see that we all share a common goal, which is, regardless of how we trade, you need the mindset. You need the right type of mental framework to be able to execute that edge that you want in the first place. And especially with a £100 million fund, I hope you guys that maybe seen a lot of this behind the scenes understand this £100 million fund, what we're working towards right now, it's going to be very difficult to compete with that. And at the end of the day, you're only out competing yourself. I wake up every single day knowing that I'm clear on my vision, clear on the mission. I actually don't care about what anyone else is doing. And I've been that way since the start of the project in 2017. So what an incredible day. Thank you to everyone that flew in. Thank you to everyone that came all over the world. What a very special moment. The next 6 months is going to be incredible.